Good morning. Good morning. What's happening, family? Welcome to the show. It is Michelle Bryant here at WNOV, 860 AM, 106.5 FM. You are listening to Say Something Real. And let me just say that I'm glad to be here this morning because I was about to be at the house sleep. I'm just letting everybody know when y'all be saying my God is good all the time. Yeah, he was on it this morning because my alarm, which is through Alexa, must have went off. I must have said, Alexa, stop, because you got to say stop for it to stop dinging, and went back to sleep. And then I like, look, I gotta go to the bathroom. It's like 5, and I said, Alexa, what time is it? And I don't like the new Alexa. I keep saying that. I do not, because it's a delay in your response now. Alexa, what time is it? And I'm making some people Alexa go off in their house now. I'm laughing because I know I'm doing it. Alexa was like 5:58. I was like, oh Lord, I jumped up. But I'm gonna tell you, this is when I appreciate having a clean house, having a clean and orderly room situation, because all I had to do was bam, shower. I already knew, because y'all know it's not hard for me to figure out what I'm wearing to work every day, which sweatshirt, I'm putting on today. And I knew I was wearing my Sounds of Gospel sweatshirt that I bought yesterday. So I'm like, sweatshirt, and hit that coffee maker, bam, and walked out the door. Everything was right there. So you can't do that when your house is all chaotic and toe up. Your stuff ain't clean. Your bathroom ain't clean. You're going to clean towels because you ain't did the laundry. Everything was like bam, 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 bam. I was like, woo! I'm so glad I live the way I live. Thank you, Jesus. Because otherwise, I would have still been at the house. So I want to say thank you so much. Happy birthday. Somebody said I'm celebrating. Oh, what's up, Rob? Rob celebrating his 43rd birthday today. Happy birthday to you, bro. I see you checking in. Facebook and YouTube in the house this morning. Let me say hello to the bros in the studio. Good morning. Good morning. What's going on, Clark Kent?
Who you with?
With you, bro. Debo somewhere in the background. Suited and booted is what we gonna call him. He done got out of woohoo. Yeah, he showed up and suited and booted. Dude, I stopped by the radio station on Saturday. I didn't know the players' ball was going on up in the studio. That's what I was humming when I got back in the car. Like, shut up. Good morning, Mr. Rideout. How you doing this morning? It's like when Beach called me. It ain't never. You be like, here we go. What, Jermaine? See, we don't necessarily want it to be you. We want you to be somebody else.
Every now and then.
What's going on, bro?
Shell, I've been contemplating some things with me, myself, and I.
Okay.
And myself told me to ask you this question.
Okay.
If I bought a mattress,
wait, this ain't Question Wednesday, bro.
I know.
So don't be trying to sneak one in. No, you trying to sneak in.
I promise you, this ain't
all right, go ahead. Yo.
Wednesday, I gotta sneak one.
Okay, yourself told you to ask me.
Myself told me.
Yeah.
Me, myself, and I
got you.
So myself told me to ask you, if I bought a mattress that was memory foam,
yeah.
If I pillow talk, can I hold it accountable if you don't remind me of what I said?
Thank you. Just thank you. Thank you. I want to thank you, Clark Kent, for giving this boy the buzzer. I want to thank you. Yes. Jermaine, you ain't getting no answer.
I'm sorry.
we ain't listening to you though. A number of people are tapping in this morning.
I'm sorry.
Evidently, I was not
the
only one at the Sound of Gospel event. Somebody said, good morning. My wife and I had a blast last night at Sounds Gospel. Thanks for bringing that to the radio. And by the way, every time you mention the A word, on the radio, you throw off my A. Alexea. No, I wonder if I spell it. Will she know I'm talking about her? Sorry about that, fam. And then somebody else said, sounds of gospel, exceptional, 4 exclamation points. Only one complaint. Somebody sitting next to me smell like weed and chicken grease. otherwise, otherwise, it was the Holy Ghost up in there.
Hey, well,
don't sit next to me, player. I'm telling you, I was in the store on Saturday. Man, the smell that I just don't know how y'all smoke that nonsense. The smell was so it almost made me like want to vomit. It was so strong and stank. And I turned around expecting to see some some youngins. It was some older sisters. And I'm like,
what I don't understand is
you Negroes look like y'all like 45. What is going on?
Well, why smoke in the car? Get out and go into an establishment knowing you loud as a fool. You try to spray perfume or cologne over it, which makes it worse.
And I don't even the people out they don't smell like they spray nothing. Yeah, so you just coming in. And I think I heard y'all conversation a week or so back where y'all was talking about the restaurant that put up that sign. Talking about if you smell like this, don't come in. And it's an interesting situation. Because I done been in a restaurant with people that got stank body odor. I'm like, you ain't putting them out. So it is crazy, but I'm gonna tell you, I can't stand it. And I'm just like, why would you smoke something that smells like that?
Well,
it smells like toilet.
See, but it don't smell like that when you roll it in.
Yeah, but you know it. You know that. You know what it smells. It's just loud. Like, why would you put something in your body that it may not be that in the moment, but you know at some point what it smells like?
Well, see, that's just the afterburn. That's the burn of the wrap.
I get all that, but no, it's more than that, because them same wraps and stuff that you was using, for the most part, it hasn't changed drastically from what we used to wrap weed in, smoke weed in when you're doing blunts or whatever. And the weed did not stink like that. Well, it's some different kind of weed out here. Just kind. Like what Cat Williams say, I got that killer, I got that this, I got that. There's different types of weed out here.
Hey, Jermaine, your mic on? Your mic on? Because somebody keeps saying your.
I guess it's low. Check. Yeah.
Okay.
It's the high THC that's in it. Now you got moon rock, you got sun rock, and then you got these new strains that people are growing. But if you pick it at the right time, it's gonna be at the strongest point. It's just like.
Again, Jay, I'm sorry. For me, none of that adds up, because people have been smoking weed for years. And I'm just saying, and I don't smoke weed, but I'm around enough Negroes that do. And I know over time that I can tell a difference in what this stuff smells like.
Yeah, because back then it was sticks and seeds.
Yeah, well,
it's just new.
That's why I said it's not the wraps, it's the weed has changed.
Yeah, I get it. But that smell afterwards that you're smelling too is that burnt vapor from the weed, from the residue.
Yeah.
So you smelling that too.
You talk about the tobacco, like the tobacco. Yeah.
Well, either way, this way too much time trying to dissect the fact that it stank. And I was so surprised when I saw these old sisters, and I'm saying old 40-something. I mean, like old ladies get offended. What she mean? Oh, I'm 47. I'm talking about too old to be doing that. So let me say that for sure. All right, y'all. A number of things to get to this morning. I mentioned the Sounds of Gospel. I do have a brother from the Sounds of Gospel calling in. I think around 8:00. We're gonna try to talk to him for just a minute, because that was my first time attending the show. People had told me, no, you got to see it. And I had some questions about the show. And so we talked to him yesterday. There's a good chance, I don't know if he's going to get up, but there's a good chance that we may be able to get Reverend Pierce in to talk about it. But let me just say that this morning, this show, for me, on some level, not all of it, might as well be called clean up on aisle everything. Because there were so many things that happened. Now, the one thing, I had planned to prepare my show this morning. Normally, I prepare before I go to bed at night. I said, I'm going to get up early, and I'll prepare it this morning. Well, I'll tell y'all what happened. So I'm trying to piece together everything I remembered that I wanted to talk about. but I don't have the depth of my typical preparation. So y'all gonna have to bear with me this morning. But there were a number of things I wanted to just hit. And I'm gonna tell you right now, on some level, some of it is gonna feel a little uncomfortable for people. But you know, it is what it is. So first thing in terms of the cleanup piece, I want to just take a second because I heard from a number of people because there was a story that appeared on Channel 12. And the caption of the story, Milwaukee's Black Media Journey from Newspapers to Talk Radio. And the byline attributed to this story, a sister by the name of Zoe Henry, or it's either Zoe or Zoe Henry. That's a sister. And it says Milwaukee's Black media has evolved from its first Black newspaper in 1892 to today's dynamic talk radio, highlighting voices dedicated to Black experiences. Now, let me be 1000% clear. I am in no way a hater. This is not Keith Perry's show. I don't have Hater Nation. I will talk about issues, but I am in no way a hater. I don't begrudge anybody getting their 15 minutes of fame, their shine. In fact, I help put people on all the time to get them in position to be, highlighted and featured. But this story that this young sister did, and I'm not sure if she wrote it, if she just reported what was put in front of her, but it is the worst, most negligent, most lacking of information and details, where it starts. Milwaukee's Black media has transformed the city's first Black newspaper in 1892 to a vibrant talk radio scene today. And then she immediately goes in, since 2021, the truth has been a source for Black listeners. And then she, talks to some of the personalities over at the Truth. And then she goes to the Milwaukee Community Journal and talks about Thomas Mitchell and the newspaper over there. And then 1987, the Milwaukee Times started in the publisher's basement. And then she says each media outlet shares a common goal of providing a platform. And then, for the most part, the story ends. What the hell is that? What is this? So you don't mention the Milwaukee Courier. You don't mention Gerald Jones. You don't mention WNOV. You don't mention 1290. You don't mention WGLB. What is this? You mention a radio station that's been on the air for 5 freaking years as the history of Black radio? Because that's the only radio station she mentioned in this whatever this mess is supposed to be. And see, when I called her, and I inboxed her on Messenger, my words were a lot nicer. When I called the station management to complain, I was professional. But the level of frustration, because there was another Black media event held and Black Talk Radio was not, a part of that. And I'm like, we don't have to be everywhere, but at least give a nod, some deference and respect. And so when I say, how do you do a story about the history of Black Talk Radio in Wisconsin, and you start with a damn radio station that's 5 years old, not Black owned, and was not the foundation, and half of their damn staff came from this radio station? How do you do that? So I join people in being frustrated and upset because it was awful reporting. Now, if you wanted to say you was doing a story on the Truth and featuring Thomas Mitchell, no complaints. Have at it. Great story. Enjoy reading the comments. But don't say you doing a story and the title is the history of Black Talk media, radio, and the print. And then you mention a radio station that's been around for 5 years. All that was some So that's cleanup number one. Now, I'm equal opportunity. Cleanup number two. and I don't have it in front of me. But in the Milwaukee Courier, we had a commentary that was done by Rob Biko Baker. Robert Biko Baker is like the general manager here at WNOV. But I read the paper after some people called me about the commentary that was done because he interviewed Mandela Barnes. And I'm trying to see if I can bring it up. Hang on, because I want to get it right. But the gist of it, in his interview with Mandela, it's called Mandela Barnes Answers Our Questions, okay? And it's on the front page of the paper. It's like this big deal. First thing you see, Mandela Barnes Answers Our Questions. And so goes through a bunch of stuff. And I'm looking for the part where this is what he said. That over the years, this is Biko Baker talking. Over the years, I have not hesitated to offer honest feedback. In 2016, I personally called and encouraged him not to run against then State Senator Lena Taylor. While I have always respected his ambition, Senator Taylor, controversial at times, had a deeply rooted base of support among Black women. I worried that a challenge at that moment can unnecessarily damage his brand and strain community relationships. I just want to say this to Biko Baker. That's all you said? That was the only thing you said to him about not running against Lena? You didn't say because she qualified? You didn't say because she got over 100 bills passed and you have 0? You didn't say because the girl is cold at what she do? You didn't say that she's one of the most effective legislators that we had? All you said was that she got a base of support from Black women, which meant you didn't understand her district because she had a heavily mixed district. You couldn't go on the side of, for the most part, of Shorewood, and we do the 4th of July parade and all the white women running in the street. Lena, we love you, Lena. People from Madison would come down to Milwaukee and be in our district and be blown away by the huge swath of support she got, not just from Black women. So the fact that in this piece on Mandela that Biko Baker says the reason I told him not to run against Lena was because her base of support. I hope you said more. You don't indicate that in the article, but I hope you said more, because if your only advice was Black women support her and that's a problem that could damage your brand, bruh, you missed the point on advising, dude. Advise people, look at the totality of a record. You don't have no damn record. You have been in the assembly for 4 years and had not gotten one single bill passed. You don't have a record to run on, bruh. That's what should have been said. While we giving out political advice, you're running on 0 record other than you got elected, which was the problem going into the U.S. Senate race. 0 record. When I read it, I was hot as a firecracker. So, yeah, I'm equal opportunity. That's our own station's newspaper. Don't run against her because she got a base of support with Black women. So brothers didn't support her. There goes some sexist nonsense. Black men don't love Lena. There goes some sexist nonsense. Just she got a huge base of support. If you're going to give people political advice, and I'm assuming you said more, it probably should have showed up in this piece. But if you're going to give people political advice, give them real damn advice. Help them understand how to look at the lay of the land. And that you do not have a shot in hell because you do not have a record of accomplishment. You don't have nothing to stand on that you can go in front of voters and say, pick me over her because I'm more effective. I'm capable of getting more things done. I got a better record. You didn't have none of that to say. So if I'm giving political advice, I'm giving actual, real, strategic political advice. Not that Black women support her. We supported her for a reason. We're not just out here willy-nilly throwing our name behind nobody. At least most of us are not. We support people for reasons. So that's the second cleanup. Third cleanup. Let me give, I get tired of giving out political advice for free. And these people not, you know, I don't get compensated. but I'm gonna give some more free advice. I said I wasn't giving no more free political advice, but I'm gonna get some more political advice for free this morning. An ad went out to some people from Mandela Barnes. Okay. The ad, which I'm trying to find it, I forgot who sent it to me. The ad though, Mandela opens up talking about his daddy was a steel worker. His mom was a public school teacher. I need you to get a new line. I need you to continuing to fall on that crutch. I need you to get a new line. That can't be the lead in all the time. You know, when your announcement came, your daddy was right there. And, you know, my daddy, a union worker. I don't need you to talk about your daddy's work record. I don't need you talking about what your mama did. I need you to get a new line the way you start these commercials, because I'm seeing the same old. So the ad though goes something like, I don't know if it's a solicitation for contributions or what it was, but says that. Then it says something about his blackness. And when he gets elected to the assembly, then his blackness when he becomes lieutenant governor, and his blackness if he becomes elected as Wisconsin governor, he'll be the first black, blah, blah, blah. So I'm like, so the last damn campaign, when you ran for U.S. Senate, it felt like you was running from your blackness. Now, in this campaign, you leaning hard into your blackness, at least in terms of this one doc that came through. Mistake. Just be you, bruh. Just do the balance. Just understand that I need to talk to all demographics, because when that little thing, that whatever that was, contribution thing, gets sent over to white supporters, it ain't gonna land the same way. I'm blackity black, 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 y'all. I'm blackity black, 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 y'all. It don't even sound genuine. Whoever is advising this boy, y'all need to stop, because you don't know what you're doing. He getting ready to be in trouble already all over again. You already in trouble because you come out and decide you're going to vote, at least in terms of the black community, because they already have had an opportunity to see Crawley. And they've had an opportunity to see him in leadership. They've had an opportunity to see him with a budget. Now, I'm not saying everybody black vote for Crawley. I'm not implying that at all. But that already set up a problem in a lot of people's mind. Because now I got to choose between the brothers. But whoever is advising you, the dunce, there's no way you send out nothing like that. Blackity, blackity, black, 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 y'all. Elect me, y'all. And if it's targeted to black voters are savvy enough to see through it, because we wasn't getting them kind of text messages in the U.S. Senate campaign. So don't start with it now. Figure out how to be you, bruh. Get your message out there and talk about what you want to do. But back to my Biko Baker statement, you got to have a record to talk about. And you've been in the game long enough to talk about your record. You got to have a record. And hopefully somewhere in there, a record of accomplishment. All this other stuff, it's just noise. Everybody know you black. Black is not what I say. Black is what I do. Black is how I live. Black is where I go, who I rock with, where I show up at. Not because it's campaign season, but this is just how I get down. That's black. So whoever is in people that's helping you and writing some of this nonsense, man, you need to rethink your team, because it's trash. Now I'm gonna act like Jermaine. I don't never talk like that. Jermaine love telling people. My son do too. I hate it when my son do it. He be like, oh, trash. Dog is trash. I'm like, man, don't talk about people like that. I can't stand when people do that. Trash. Everything about the person is not trash. Trash. Yeah, you.
Say the other word.
So,
No,
but yeah,
ain't.
but Mandela, whoever your team is, Jermaine, what's the word?
Trash.
That's all I want to say. I gotta take a break, y'all. I'll be right back. Michelle Bryant, WNOV. I told y'all I wasn't gonna be comfortable this morning. See, I should have woke up on time. I'll be right back. Michelle Bryant, WNOV. All right, family, welcome back to the show. Again, continuing in the vein of the cleanup piece. A couple of quick things. So, national headlines. Remember the story we talked about with the former Michigan head coach, Chiron Moore, and the fact that he was charged with, going into this white female's house and, got charged with felony invasion, stalking, and illegal entry. So on Tuesday, a judge granted a request for a hearing to learn more about an investigation that led to these charges. He was arrested, soon fired thereafter for a relationship with, he was arrested soon after he was fired for a relationship with his executive assistant. It is being characterized as, and ultimately this case was dismissed. Okay. And so, Moore, again, for people that are like, wait, Michelle, I remember that story, entered the woman's apartment without permission, threatening to kill her. That's what he was accused of. Kill himself in front of her on December 10th. Authorities quoted him as saying she was to blame for him losing one of the top college football jobs in the country. She had spoken to university officials, but the Judge Cedric Simpson, expressed concern that a police detective didn't disclose Moore's employer-employee relationship with the woman, a glaring omission. When a magistrate authorized a warrant for his arrest, the defendant's due process may have been violated, Simpson said. This was not solely this personal relationship. The magistrate should have been able to look at that, said the judge, who set a March 2nd hearing to hear from police and other witnesses. The woman ended the personal relationship a few days before Moore's firing and did not answer a dozen calls from him before he was dismissed. Michael said a coach calling and texting an executive assistant that many times was reasonable while Moore was preparing for his team for a bowl game. It's not stalking if the communication has a legitimate purpose, Michael said. But before Simpson set the hearing, the assistant prosecutor said it wasn't necessary and would be outside the judge's discretion. Moore coached the Wolverines for 2 seasons, blah, blah, blah. Forget all that part. So there is some additional conversation now about how that whole thing played out and whether or not he was treated in a way that he shouldn't have been treated. Again, whether or not due process was violated. But I just wanted to flag it for people because a lot of people's like, yeah, they set oh boy up and da-da-da. Hey, hold on. What they're saying is procedurally, some things that were done shouldn't have happened. At the end of the day, it's still a bad look for old boy and, problematic, and you're not going to be able to get around that. But I did want to say that, yes, to remind people or let people know if they did not know that all of those charges against this brother have been dismissed. Let me go to the phone line. Hey, caller, what's happening? Hello?
Hey, how you doing?
I'm good. How you doing this morning?
You hot this morning, ain't you?
Just a little bit. Man,
hey, it was a fight. It was a fight last night. Ding, ding, ding. Let me tell you something. Hey, that fool Debo said, "Is you gonna shout out anybody that's living?"
Yeah. Oh, Saturday morning.
Well, Saturday morning.
Yeah, that was crazy.
I said, Michelle coming in, they really show out.
That's them all by themselves. I ain't had nothing to do. I was innocent, just in the room, like, come on, y'all.
No, you were the gas to the fuel.
Look, okay.
but my question is, man, what is going on in Mexico, man?
Oh, I'm gonna get to it, bro. Yeah, like I said, we gonna clean up. The U.S. bragging now about we assisted them in the intel to get old boy, but you doing that and American citizens is over there. I got a girl just left Mexico last week, and now they being told to shelter in place. So I'm gonna get to it.
Talking about you stuck, go run for cover.
Right. Yeah, no, it's madness. We're gonna talk about it though for sure.
Okay, all right, that's all I'm gonna get to.
Okay, thank you, bro. I appreciate the call. Yeah. Look, let me go back and grab this before I get this caller, because this is the other piece of that Chiron Moore The University of Michigan has paid over $2 million to the law firm investigating its athletic department and the circumstances surrounding Chiron Moore's firing. The total payment was added up from invoices from received Friday, February 20th. 2 invoices out of a box, whatever. This is a Chicago-based law firm. They were retained in December. Is charged with investigating the fired Michigan coach and the athletic department, mired in controversy for years. So people were like, did you hear about the law firm? The 2 related but distinct investigations into Moore and then into the department. They're conducting a thorough legal review of complex and high stakes issues at a college and university. So, I don't know what all that they are doing, why it, it's a thing, but yeah, people are talking about these investigations. But I want to be clear that it's multiple investigations. It's not just into Chiron Moore, but it's something else going on as well. And we know anybody that pays attention to college football, it's a ton of money. It's a ton of stuff that go on that's corrupt and, illegal, should be illegal if it's not fully illegal, ethically challenged. So this is, and the bigger the program, usually the worse it is. So we already know a lot of that stuff exists. Let me go to the phone line. Hey, caller, what's happening?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Michelle.
Hey.
Good morning, Ryder. Jermaine Ryder. Good morning, Clark. Good morning, Milwaukee. Yeah, Tyrone W. speaking. The Tyrone W. speaking. Couple different things real quick, Michelle. I'm not going to keep you long here. Is there a debate? Because I appreciate the things that Crawley is doing as far as executive and all of that, he still can come out, you got the seat in the chair now. You can still come out, your flyers got you walking and waving. It's summertime, get on out here and, get with us. So is there a debate scheduled between Mr. Barnes and David Crawley? That on those 2 real quick. I would love to hear the debate, since Mr. Barnes likes to, whatever muscle he's flexing, flex, what was his position? Lieutenant governor?
Yes.
So whatever you're standing on with that, your town hall meetings or, whatever conferences you had, you should be standing on that for whatever it's worth. And I'm pretty sure David can, present his resume as it is. Basketball, football terminology, home field, home court advantage to Mark Chambers, Miss Alderwoman Zamfaripa, and Mr. Perez. Why was this held in Miss Alderwoman Zamfaripa's office and not Mr. Perez's? As that kind of put Mark as a disadvantage. Why is this in her office and not in the office of Mr. Perez or in the dash with the? That's what I was saying about.
What difference does it make?
Huh?
What difference does it make?
Well, I don't know what the difference. I guess she may feel comfortable in her office just like anybody else. So I think Mr. Perez was out of line for not having it in his office. Like I said, I'm neutral on both sides, but I think you need to give Mark the benefit of the doubt for at least having the courage to go on her turf and, having to face the music, on her turf. That's home court advantage for her, But like you said, it'll play out. But I'm just trying to read these tea leaves, and it seems to me like they're trying to stack everything up against Mark, But hey, the brother is trying anyway. I'll say that.
All right.
I'll listen to you over the air then.
All right. Thank you, bro. I appreciate it. For folks like what Mark talking about, Alderman Chambers and the back and forth with him and Alderwoman Zamfaripa, and people have questioned because he got called into or went over to Jocasta's office, Alderwoman Zamfaripa's office. And there were other folks there when he got there, Alex Brower, I think they said Marina Dmitrievich, all other alders, and talking about, I'm assuming this mask ban and this policy on ICE out, and what this press conference was about to entail. But again, you just going into a colleague's office. So yeah, people can say, maybe you felt ganged up on. At the end of the day, you still got to understand the dynamics of the room. Because this is the thing. You think me and Lena ain't never walked into a room where we was ganged up on? Where we was the only ones? Where we knew when we got there. And in some cases, we didn't know. But people will be ready to pounce all the time. So it's about how you still comport yourself when this jumps off. And if any of the stuff is correct, she told him supposedly get the F out my office. He says, F you, throw a hat down on the floor. I think F you is uttered again. His own assistant comes in to try to like, hey, bro, you need to come up out of here. This is getting loud. Stuff is looking kind of off. And he closed the door on his assistant. Now you're doing too much, man. Read the room. You're outnumbered. How do you handle yourself? What does the headline say? The ability to stand there in the moment and see down the road. How does this play out? Because neither one of them, I'm assuming, imagine that they would be moved off of committees because of this bull crap. How does this play out? And that's where skill and maturity comes in. How does this play out? Is this a winning moment? Is this the way I want to handle this? I don't know. And people can say heated, passionate, whatever. It's a way, a time, and a place to behave on the job. End of story. And the first flag is when your staff come to get you. Because your staff now appreciates what's happening. You so into the moment, you don't. And if the reporting is correct, you close the door in your staff's face. Somebody came to try to save you from this ignorant moment. Even if Joe Costa is being ignorant, I don't give a damn about Joe Costa. I'm here to save you, bruh. The number of times I have been in a room and Lena was right there. Oh no, that heat was on its way. And to be able to look at her or to tap her or to nod and, Lena make a decision like, okay, I ain't gonna blow the doors out today. And then there was some days like, hey, she getting ready to get you. It ain't nothing I can do for you, fam. It's getting ready to happen. But I also appreciated in that moment, oh, you had that coming. You had it coming. So, yeah, it doesn't matter where you are. You got to know how to play your game. And you got to understand that when Tupac say all eyes on me, you're the only black dude in the room. But you got to know how to play your hand. And these ain't allies. You got to know how to play your hand. See, that's the thing I say to people all the time. People think that this stuff is easy. People think they see like, oh, Michelle do it, Lena do it, Keisha do it. It can't be that hard. Yeah. Oh, it's a skill to it, boo. And a lot of it has been learned and earned over the years. But you got cats just step up to the plate and think they cold out the gate. You not. Think they know what they doing right out the gate. You don't. You still learning. That's why that nonsense back to Adam Purcell. Oh, in 6 months, everything has turned around and the world is beautiful. Stop playing with me. Because anybody that's ever been on any job, you know what it takes to be able to fully understand that job, how long you get comfortable, how to move and groove, how to get things done. You understand. And I'm not talking about some small wins here and there. I'm talking about being effective to the point that you're talking about numbers are going down and crime. You think that happened in 6 months because this white boy stood up and took the job? Boy, stop playing with me. All right. I am done with that piece. I got callers. Let me go to the phone line. Hey, caller, what's happening?
Good morning, Michelle.
Hey, Angela, how you doing this morning?
I'm blessed.
Good.
So my reason for calling this morning, I'd like to ask you, would it be okay if I give a shout out to my mom? Today officially is her 90th birthday. May she rest in peace.
Well, of course.
So
go
happy,
ahead.
All right, happy birthday,
Well, you was going to do it
Mom.
anyway, sound like, but go ahead.
I did, but
I was just giving you a hard time. Go ahead, Angela.
That's okay. Happy birthday, Mom. I love you.
What's her name, Angela?
My mom's name is Margaret Dolores Hudson.
Hudson?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Yes. Love you, Mom.
All right. Thank you, Angela. Yeah.
And good morning to you all.
Good morning.
How was your weekend?
No
And I couldn't make it to the the thing I wanted tickets for because I've been so sick. I've been bedridden for the last couple of weeks, so I couldn't make it yesterday. But my daughter Camille went. She seen you. She said your hat was slamming.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, so
I
I
appreciate
just
that.
I tried to get a ticket away to somebody, but a lot of people just already had some. So
Yeah, it was busy yesterday,
yeah, so
but thank
she
you for
did use.
supporting that, brother, though, and that production. Thank you.
Yeah, okay.
All right,
I
thanks,
bet you
Angela.
all have a good day.
You too now.
Yeah.
All right, let me just circle back real quick because one of the questions that was posed by the caller, he wanted to know about gubernatorial debates. So there was a debate that was held, or a forum. They didn't call it a debate, a candidates forum that was held on, I think, in January, and it was down at the Cooperage. On Wednesday, January 21st, and they had invited a number of, excuse me, the candidates. I wasn't there. I didn't do the follow up, so I don't know if everybody showed up. But you can actually go and watch this on YouTube if you want to see that forum. So that's an opportunity to see. And let me see how long it is. It's an hour and 38 minutes. So you can go online if you have yet to see all of these folks together answering the same questions, talking about the issues. But yep, they said it will feature all 7 candidates. So that's one thing. And thank God now with technology, I'm telling you, COVID changed the game on a lot of things. This is recorded, so you have an opportunity to watch that now. In terms of upcoming debates, I don't have, or forums, I don't have any confirmed information right now. But as soon as they become available, I'll make it known to you. I know that the Democratic Party, on the Democratic side of the ticket, they're doing candidate roll throughs in their office. So every one of the candidates have an opportunity to come in, talk to the community, address issues, get questions asked. I'll get that schedule because I just saw it the other day, and some of them have already started. But the minute I become aware of forums, I will definitely make sure that you all are aware. But for right now, you can go to YouTube, type in 2026 Main Street Governor Candidate Forum, and you can. Somebody said yes, all the candidates showed up at the Cooperage, and there was about 400 people there. It was really good. The brother had hit me up, him and his wife attended. So all 7 candidates were there. So if you want to see what the initial, lay of the land is in terms of these candidates, go to YouTube, watch 2026 Main Street Governor Candidate Forum, and you'll be able to see what happened. All right. As I said, we doing some additional cleanup. So let's the caller brought it up. So let's just deal with it right now. Many folks woke up and found that there had been a strike done in which a leader of a cartel in Mexico, El Mencho, which is considered one of the country's most wanted cartel bosses. He was considered one of the country's most wanted cartel bosses, has been killed. Okay. El Mencho, longtime head of one of the nation's most powerful cartels. Armed groups have now set fires to cars and buildings across Mexico in the wake of his death. The Mexican government said it killed the nation's most wanted cartel boss on yesterday, setting off a wave of violence across the country. But the guy's name, Nemesio Cervantes, known as El Mencho, was a longtime leader of one of Mexico's most powerful cartels, the Jalisco New Generation Cartel, and was widely regarded as one of the country's most violent criminal figures. He's a former police officer. Ooh, look at that. He presided over a criminal enterprise that has expanded rapidly over the past decade, producing and selling drugs, extorting local businesses, and terrorizing communities across the country. His death, though, plunged Mexico into a highly tense situation that has unleashed violence across the country. Past cartel leaders have set off wars between the government and the cartel, but they are now saying that what is happening in Mexico, they're trying to get a handle on it because, people are getting caught up. They have set fires to supermarkets, banks, cars. It is widespread and it is crazy. The thing that, and the reason why I'm paying attention to it is that, and in addition to him, there were 9 other cartel members killed. So it wasn't just him that was, that was killed on yesterday. A number of his crew was killed. So the thing is that America, who loves to take credit under Donald Trump, who always got to brag, who always got to open their mouth instead of being quiet and letting stuff play out. America, hurry up and, started letting people know we was involved. We gave them the intel. We helped to get them. Oh, okay. Y'all had something to do with it. But we got all these American citizens over here in Mexico right now being told to shelter in place and trying to figure out how they gonna get out of here. And they trying to tear up the airports too. So was anybody thinking about American citizens? Because I wonder if this is possible. Most of us, our airlines have our cell phone numbers because they text us about flight delays, right? Flight changes. Instead of this gate, it's no longer gate 7. You now at gate 38 on the other side of the whole airport. Just kills you when it happens. But they text you. Does the American government have the ability to say to Delta Airlines, Sun Country Airlines, any of these airlines, hey, we got a situation that's jumping off and we need to send text messages to Americans that you have on your, flight manifestos that you have taken over there that may have return trips. We need to get them a text message to say they need to shelter in place or they need to get out of there. Like, how do we communicate with Americans that get caught up in the situation? How do we do that? And so at least 13 states, apparent cartel operatives, have sought to create this havoc. They blocking roads, they burning cars, they are lashing out, and somebody gonna pay for their leader being killed and these 9 other people. They've set the bank-run, state-run banks. They've set them on fire. They damaging it. More than 20 roads. They just showed cars on fire. Where is this at? They suspended public transportation in some areas, warned hotels to instruct their guests to remain inside, including in Puerto Rico, Vallarta. I think that's where Keisha just was. Because she was in Puerto Rico. I think that's where she was. And she was in, where was she at? She was somewhere in Mexico. Anyway, the beachside city popular with American and Mexican tourists. She was just there. And now they're telling people to shelter in place. And they suspended public transportation. Panic broke out at the airport on Sunday. Did you see the videos of people running on the tarmac? Videos posted on social media showing airport staff and travelers fleeing the building. Airport, Mexican federal government said the airport was operating as normal. There was no risk to flyers. Why was everybody running? Concerts, soccer matches canceled, flights diverted. At least one port halted all operations. Do you? Oh, she was in Cancun. Thanks. Not Puerto Rico. Because I'm like, she was somewhere. I don't go to Mexico. I'm not going. I don't care what's happening. They can say Michelle free. In the best of the best, I'm good. I'm a free 99. I'm not going. It ain't for me. I gotta take a break. But the US, because somebody want to thump their chest and get some freaking credit, but you got American citizens in harm's way. Shut your mouth. That could have just been on Mexico. They got their own people. Let's get our people out of there. This administration does not care about anybody for real. There was a way to do this that we don't put our folks in harm's way. I got to take a break. I'll be right back. Family, welcome back to the show. So I told folks this morning I was going to see if we were able to get Reverend William Pierce on the line. I wanted to speak with him this morning. A number of us had an opportunity to attend the Sound of Gospel on yesterday down at the Bradley Symphony Center. And when I say that the response and the reviews were phenomenal, people had a ball. But there were times, um, you know, and I'm gonna just tell you, I went to a show. Oh, I think I went to something with Michael Jackson. It was something that Michael Jackson was featured, his music, and the announcers literally said to people, "This is not a real concert." So when people get ready to jump up, like your jam come on, and they was like, "This is a part of the show, y'all." So just so y'all know, there were moments at this production on yesterday when I'm like, they're real. Like, it's real church going on up in here right now. There are people really being impacted right now. And so I had questions about the production. So we were able to get Reverend Pierce to join us this morning. Good morning, good Reverend. How you doing this morning,
Good
sir?
morning. I see you 20. I see you 20 this morning. You got the
Oh,
yeah.
I wasn't leaving without getting one. I wasn't. How are you doing this morning? It was a long day yesterday. How you doing this morning?
I am trying, I'm recovering. You guys wore us out last night.
Look, y'all wore yourself out. The singing or singing, as they say, that is a part of this production. First of all, let me just say, um, very well done. The quality of the stage presence, to be able to take just a few props and take a basic black outfit and transform it from the choir to the marches, the protesters. I mean, like, kudos to your team, because who would have thought adding a collar, removing a vest, adding a jean jacket took us from literally slavery to modern day. So the first thing I just want to do is just say, wait, where are you at this morning?
I'm home. We
You
back here.
okay? You back? You back?
We home. But
So
I want to send a shout out to my uh, artistic director, Javita Steele. She's a part of the Steele family here in Minnesota, very well known group. She used to be a part of the Sound of Blackness. She is she is one of the best, if not the best, director that I've had. And when I started this show, 2018, when I did it for the National Baptist Convention, I said I would do that. When they asked me to do this, I said I would do it if Javita would direct it. I had not worked with her before.
okay.
I placed it on my heart. Even today, we say, what happened? How did we get together? All I knew is that I wanted her. I told her years ago I was going to work with her, and she believes in this, and that's the biggest thing. She believes in this, and she knows that this show is not about us. It's about something special. She saw that special in this, that what it was special in the show, and she believes in it, and that's what you see on stage.
Well, I'm gonna tell you, like I said, and I'm a person. I try to pay attention to it all. Sometimes the show can be so good, I forget some of the ancillary things that are happening, like the lighting person, the
Yes.
background musicians. This is one time the background musicians literally, in some cases, were background and they were sitting right on the stage. You got so engrossed in what was happening in front of you, you forgot them brothers was sitting there,
Yeah.
until the guitar player comes out and has a role. But let's just take a few minutes with this piece, because so many people reached out. They were disappointed. They hadn't, heard, but people at church were saying, girl, yeah, we on our way down to the show. And they was like, what show? And so people were like, well, when is it coming back? And, where else can I see it? Because you got folks who will travel. Where else can I see it? But I just got to take a moment to talk about being in that room and some of the performers. And I'm gonna just say it candidly. I couldn't tell sometimes, like, okay, is this the performance, or has the Holy Spirit taken over this sister or this brother? Because you you couldn't tell. And
Exactly.
help me understand what I was seeing in some cases. And the lady in the front row, that lady thought she was at church. She 100%. She shouted and she almost fell just like at church. Everybody reached out to grab her because this sister was having such a good time.
Yes.
Talk a little bit about what we saw happening on that stage.
That is the impact of gospel music, first of all. And we encourage, we say performers, actors, because they're doing all that, dancing, acting, to become the role, to become that element, to become that particular era of gospel music. And what you see happening on stage is happening real time. This is not rehearsed. We rehearse the show. The show is timed. And sometimes when my director, she's strict, like keep it, we don't do the entire songs, but when the spirit takes over, and that's the importance of gospel music. You are elevated to a space that you're not anticipating. You can think about, we're going to do this, but it's real, and it's not manufactured. That's the whole thing. This is not manufactured. This is real. And what you see because the audience responds to that, and it's kind of like, the song back in the day, I want to see the church on fire in the old time way.
Right.
If you go set a fire, in a wooden area, that little spark will start a fire somewhere else. So that's the importance of what's happening there, because someone in the audience may start something, and then that catches on fire on the stage, and then the musician catch on fire. That's what it's about. It's about transformation. One person may start it. That's why, you go to church, you don't want to sit somebody that's cold. You want to sit somebody say you're on fire. Sometimes you may say, it don't take all that. But when you're going through something, it does take all that. And that's what you see on stage. Everybody in that room is going through something. And even the actors, performers, they're going through something. So in that moment, it's about God. It's not about them. And that's what we tell them. Don't make it about you.
Yeah, because one of the actors, you could tell, at least it felt like to me, like she had a moment and she was gone for a second, and you could hear herself talking, trying to bring herself back. Like, okay, we got to get on with the show, or I don't know if somebody was in her ear, but that sister was gone, and I'm like, okay, that's real, because again, and we had, the audience was diverse, and so there were some people that I knew that were there who sent me some text messages that were not African American, and they were like, "Oh my God, that acting was phenomenal!" And I texted back that all that wasn't acting, all of that was not acting. Yes. It was when people were saying on the mic, the Holy Spirit is in this place. Yeah, all of that was not acting. But I just got to ask you, for that emotional toll, because that first half of the show, as you and I talked about briefly, is the historical aspect. And so you're getting all that education, all of the names are being, provided. This is who did this. This is how you get exposed to this. This is where we get this from. So you're getting all of those educational foundational pieces. That second half of the show, when y'all do the assassination of Dr. King, bruh, yeah,
and he transformed, and he goes up.
He rise up.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the screen like they got.
Is that real? Is that real? Exactly. And the thing, that's the challenge. You had me on the show twice. You can't explain that.
No.
There's no way you can prepare people for what they're about to see. And we go back to the emotional part with, sweeping through the city. Angie Stewart, she lost her mother a few years ago.
Okay.
And when she says, "I want to see my mother over there, I want to see my father," she lost her father years ago. She's serious. And that's when you're thinking about that, when you're thinking about a by and by, if you will, another place, and you're singing, you in that moment. And that's what the gospel music put you in the moment. When I'm talking about in the moment, not what you're going through, but in the moment, where you're going to be. And you're forgetting about where you are. Even on stage, you're forgetting there's an audience out there, because you've been transformed into something else. And so when we talk about Dr. King, that element, and when that individual come out, when Lacey comes out, you don't know his name, he says that, and yet we march on.
Right. Right.
That feeling, even now when I say that, despite what you're going through right now, in spite what we're going through as a country, as a city, as a state, you hear those words, yet we march on.
And you felt it in your chest.
Exactly.
I gotta be honest. You felt that's why it was important to have this brief follow-up this morning, because you know, I go to a lot of things, and
Right.
I'm usually able to draw that line, okay, this is entertainment. Yeah, I'm learning something, but and then sometimes people sing, they move you, you feel something.
Right.
But I walked out of there yesterday and I didn't do something I normally do. Everybody that one of my colleagues, he's a pastor, and I went to go hear him preach on last Sunday. And he said, I know, and he shouted me out from the pulpit. And he said, I know she's sitting out there with a pen and paper because I'm gonna take notes. That's just what I do. I'm gonna take notes wherever I go. I did not take a single note at this production. I was 100%. I said, I just want to experience it. Because I had heard so much about it. I'm gonna tell you, it's a sister here. She is basically the mayor. She's called a village president of Brown Deer. Listening to Wanda talk about the production.
Wanda, yes. She
Wanda
texted me last night.
You met her okay, wonderful. Or you talked to her last night?
No, she texted me because she came last year. I don't mean she came last year, and she brought a group of people. And the thing about it, when I tell you, and I've said this on your show, it's a show you've never seen before. I don't care what you've gone through. You cannot compact and comprise all those things into, and like we've done, because I don't know, God just gave me that, and Javita helped me bring it to fruition. When you have all those different elements, and when they're singing the Clark Sister, they sound like the Clark Sister.
Oh,
when they singing Mary.
That's the other part. These were some of the most gifted, talented singers. I mean, 100% world-class talent. You thought you were listening when the Mary piece. Oh, yes. Like, come on now, come on.
Let me share something with you real briefly. I know, we could go all day. That's Jediah Steele. That's Javita's niece. Javita's Steele niece.
Yes.
And grandniece actually, and the other individual that was singing, I forget the song he was singing, that comes out when they're doing the slavery piece. That's her nephew. Okay, and that's his daughter.
Okay.
A few years ago, I had a show entitled "The Church Got Talent Too," almost like American Got Talent. They had never heard her sing. That young lady, the one who sung the Clark Sister, they had never heard her sing. That was the first time they heard her sing in a competition. And when she became a part of the production, I was outside the rehearsal and I heard the singing going on. I walked in, I said, "Who is that?" And I called the mother out, because her mother is my assistant. And I said, "Has she had a lesson?" And she said, "No, that's just her. She developed." I said, "What happened from the competition to now?" It was a couple of years between. And she said, "I don't know." Yes.
Okay. I'm looking at comments while you talking. Folks said, it is the anointing and presence of God that was evident during yesterday's performance. There are some folks that look, because of either being not mobile, not able to travel. They was like, is there any other place, any other way for people to be able to see this production? Is it on a VHS tape? Is it somewhere?
We don't have it because of the rights, trying to get all those rights of those songs.
Yeah, for those music, right?
So, but we are thinking about going to Chicago this year.
Really?
Yes, we
will travel. We'll run up the street.
We are thinking about it because of something happened and Gary wasn't able to do the show there. We're trying to reschedule that show for Chicago, and we have a potential location. We have to do the preliminary search and stuff and do things we need to do. So be on the lookout for that, Chicago. But we are adding other cities hopefully next year, because my planning for this show starting next month.
There you go. Look, well, I know, and I was actually there. I saw some educators who wanted their students to be able to attend. Mm-hmm. So I know that those conversations are in the works. I just want to make sure that you stay connected to us. If there is a Chicago date, even the Indiana date, if that ever gets put back on for this year, let us know so I can share it with our listeners.
Yes.
Because the number of people that hit me up yesterday on my way en route to the performance, since last night, they've heard about it from some people. Look, Michelle, now everybody ain't gonna be talking about this, and I didn't see it, and I don't know what's going on.
Yes.
So we want to make sure. And I just want to tell you, I thought it was so cool. All those performers, after that show was over, they were out mingling with everybody. Folks was taking pictures. I didn't get a picture with nobody. They was out taking, because the lines was, I ain't got time. I can't stay here and do all of this. Doug was like, Michelle, you gonna get a picture with Reverend Pierce? I was like, I'll talk to Reverend Pierce. I'll catch him someplace else, because I've had an opportunity to engage him.
Right.
And this is important. Let these people have a moment. So I appreciate the humility of your team, the genuine care for the folks that came to see them. They were so nice to our community. When I was, getting my sweatshirt, I'm like looking, and I'm trying to figure out what I wanted. The people that handled me at the table, beautiful spirits, and if you feel it, the
Right.
thing that you conveyed on that stage, you feel it when you engage your team before and after that production.
Yes, and I want to share this with you as well. I wrote this piece. I've seen it many times, and every time I see it, it's like I'm seeing it for the first time. A second thing is that we change elements of the show, add different elements, because music, gospel music, continue to evolve. The show continue to evolve.
Right.
So people say, I saw it last year or I saw it this year, I'm not coming back. Trust me, you would see something different if you come back to see the show. Even if every city we're going to, the show changed a little bit. It's just because of the dynamics of the audience. It's always changing. And so we're already planning to come back next year. We're in the works for that, and we're looking for better ways to make this show more not only cost efficient, but also more impactful. And the last thing I want to say, the show is never about entertainment. It's about education, but it's also about educating us to get, if you notice the beginning video, educating us about our health.
Yeah.
We can talk about our history, but we also got to make history. In order to do that, you have to live long enough to do that. So we encourage people to get themselves checked out. So that I want to make sure that we get that piece in there. People need to go to the doctor. And I know that the stigma, we as Black people, we've been treated, poorly when it comes to physicians and stuff like that, healthcare, all the way across the board. But yet we got to find a way. And that's what we want to encourage people to do.
Well, I just want to tell you, I appreciate you getting up and joining us this morning. Appreciated the performance even more. Keep us posted. I know you got, Doug number. Stay in touch. Say, hey, let Michelle know we got the shy date locked down. We on our way.
Yes.
And we'll make sure we share it with our listeners.
Yeah. Tell Doug, don't call me no more.
Church. Almost started to raise a hymn myself.
We thank you. I want to thank you as well. I thank you for what you did last night. And as you can see, I was out in the audience because I want to make sure people see me and they make sure they feel welcome at the event.
Somebody said the tribute to the Twin Cities choirs at the end was so much love. So you had that. Other folks, I really enjoyed the show. I hope they grace us again next year. So you already said you would.
And do me a favor. We would love to pay tribute to people in Milwaukee, but we hesitated in doing that because we don't want to miss someone. So if you can help me compile a list of the people from Milwaukee, and we will definitely do a tribute to them as well.
Well, I'm going to tell you right now, I know it's going to be plenty of names, but the Lucky Brothers comes to mind right away.
Yeah. So let's work on that. You and I work on
that. We will do that. All right, bro. I'm going to get out your way, let you get some rest or get to work. One or the other. That's
both. I got to do both.
Yeah, exactly. When you in charge of the show, in the whole process, it is never a whole bunch of rest, but it is well worth it. Thank you for the education. It was a great way for me to enhance my Black History Month celebrations this month. I appreciate you so much, fam.
Yes, thank you so much as well.
All right, now talk to you soon. Reverend William Pierce, y'all. That man got to be tired. All right, we'll talk to you soon. All right, family, let me take a quick break. Michelle Bryant, WNOV, 860 AM, 106.5 FM. We'll be right back. All right, family, welcome back to the show. So let me take a second because one of the things that I said I wanted to try to hit this morning, the Supreme Court on this past Friday ruled that Donald Trump's sweeping tariffs on U.S. trading partners violated federal law. Okay. The ruling dealt a major blow to the administration, to their economic agenda, and left trade deals in limbo as world leaders tried to figure this whole thing out. Now, this is a great article that breaks it down in the New York Times. If you have access to that media outlet, I encourage you to read it. But what they say basically happened, and I'm just going to do their summary. I could do my own. But the Chief Justice 6-3 court decision that determined that Trump exceeded his authority in imposing the levies. Chief Justice John Roberts Jr. wrote for the majority that the 1970 emergency statute that Mr. Trump used to invoke to bypass Congress did not allow him to unilaterally impose duties or these tariffs. Trump was in the East Room of the White House speaking to a group of governors. When he found out that the court had struck down his tariffs, he told those gathered that he had a contingency plan and ended the meeting early. In a news conference, Trump then announced on Friday afternoon that a 10% global tariff on all imports using a different legal authority to impose them was going to go into effect. He said that he would open investigations into unfair trade practices in an effort to secure additional tariffs, and that he would not reinstate the so-called de minimis exemption, a policy that had allowed billions of dollars of low-value imports to enter the United States tax-free. So when y'all ordering from Temu and all these places and you getting, items that's under $100, that stuff wasn't being taxed coming in. Now he's saying, no, we're going to be taxing all of that. He vowed to press forward with his tariff tactics despite this ruling. And Jermaine just flagged something for me that I had not heard. But Donald Trump took to social media and he said in this quote that he had, this is Donald Trump, quote, "So I'm allowed to destroy the country, but I can't change them a little. I can't charge them a little fee. How ridiculous is that? So I'm allowed to destroy a country, but I can't charge them a little fee. How ridiculous is that?" So he is able to go and blow up boats and kill people without any proof, any verification, no process in terms of, we don't even know who these people are that have been killed. Unless their families come forward and say, Michelle and Jermaine was on that boat that went out, that got blown up. We don't even have any idea who these people are. The U.S. does not have any idea specifically who they are killing. Just you being on the boat is justification in their mind to blow people out of the water. More deaths were recently announced within the last week or so. They are continuing. Over 140 people now have been killed by this administration just on their own. And so Trump says, so I'm allowed to destroy the country. I can go in, snatch Venezuela's president. I can do whatever I want to, but you won't let me charge them, quote, a little fee. First of all, he's a dummy because the people that end up ultimately paying is Americans, because we're doing business with these people. So my cost of coffee now is dang near $20 messing with Donald Trump and these tariffs. But I told Jermaine, I said, he just said the quiet part out loud. Yes, the American government has shown time and time again that it values big business and money. It does not value people. The people that run, and this is a blanket statement, not specific. Of course, there are legislators that don't see it this way. They're not in the majority. But the people, for the most part, that run this country, they value big business and they value money. They do not value people. So that is why, yeah, you can blow up all the boats in the middle of the ocean you want to. You can kill as many people. We ain't got nothing to say. But now you messing with our money, sir. Now you messing with our ability to do trade, sir. Now we get the way in. The Supreme Court basically told him, oh, you want to racially profile people on your ICE attacks because of the way they sound or the way they look? Go ahead. You got our permission. I was going to say the white boys and girls, that's conservative, but I forgot about, token Clarence Thomas. But go ahead. Oh yeah, racially profile. What is it? Doesn't matter. It's not going to impact me. You go right ahead. If you think it'll help get down the immigration numbers in this country, illegal immigrants in this country, you go right ahead. Trump said the quiet part out loud. So y'all value money. Jermaine just said over lives. I was going to say a whole long thing. Jermaine said, hey, wrap it up, sis. Over lives. you ain't got to make that speech this morning. Over lives. That's what we've been told. If you all have not had an opportunity to see this thing on Netflix, I have told a couple of people about it. I'm just pulling up the title. There is a it's not a documentary. Well, I guess it is a documentary, but there's this series. It's like 7 parts on Netflix right now. It's called Titans, The Rise of Wall Street. When I tell you, I was just flipping channels while I was doing some work, and I like background noise on the TV. I was flipping channels and flipping stuff to watch on Netflix. And I was like, oh, this look interesting. I haven't seen it. I didn't even realize it was 7 parts. I just hit play and went on about my business. I'm working. And then I'm hearing certain things that's making me look up. For those of you that love history, those of you that are interested in money and who the players are and how some of the stuff forms. I have an account at this bank, and it never dawned on me how that bank got started. And, these are real people's names. JP Morgan is an actual person. Merrill Lynch, those were 2 actual people. How JC Penney starts, how CNN starts. If you watch this mini series, Titans, The Rise of Wall Street, number one, you become floored at the way some of these things come to fruition. Who the players are, what these family backgrounds are, how things could have gone. Let me just give you a quick example, and then I'm gonna get some other stuff in, but just a quick example. So they break it out. One set, the first episode, the House of Morgan. In the mid-19th century, J.P. Morgan comes to Wall Street, seeking to escape his father, who is a banker, and make a name for himself in American banking. His father's in London as a banker. So it gives you the rise of J.P. Morgan, the House of Morgan, okay? Railroad rivalry. Turn of the century, J.P. Morgan's dominance on Wall Street is unquestioned. He decides to expand, and J.P. Morgan of Chase Bank, J.P. Morgan creates U.S. Steel, okay? Because he's in the railroad game. He is doing U.S. Steel. He's doing all of that. And then his son gets control of everything. Talk about that. The Wall Street, the crash. But stay with me, y'all, because they're gonna bring y'all right into the late 90s, early 2000s. You're gonna get to see how CNN, Turner Broadcasting, how all these things come into play. Who are the money people behind it? How the stock market got manipulated to be able to drive prices up or down. The creation of junk bonds. That's a whole industry in and of itself. But this is the one example I want to quickly give as I'm paying attention. JP Morgan is approached by this guy, and this is coming off the war. We go back to Civil War, who says, the U.S. military is getting ready to get rid of these guns because there's a flaw in them and they're not working properly. I will sell them to you for pennies, literally pennies for each gun. Now, there's a fix for these guns, though. And you can fix all of these guns and then sell them back to the U.S. military for 2 and 3 times what they cost. JP Morgan was like, okay. So the man said, you'll get 100% back on your on your investment plus some. JP Morgan says, ain't nobody going to find out. Dude said, no, nobody's going to find out. So they do it. JP Morgan makes millions of dollars. And they sell the guns, but eventually people find out his name is trash. But of course, he's able to rebuild. There's another scenario in which they're talking about the Civil War. And Abraham Lincoln is saying, hey, we don't have enough money to be able to pay for the munitions that we need to be able to fight this war and all of the bills associated with fighting this war. We need to get some bonds. U.S. banking industry, or the folks that's running these banks right now, these privately held banks. They're like, yeah, no, we ain't interested. We're not going to bite. Lincoln is like, if we don't get an infusion of money, we're going to lose this war. Remember what's in the background? Slavery. If we don't get this money, the reality is that these folks going to stay enslaved. Now, he wasn't fighting for us. That's not why Lincoln wasn't trying to free the slaves. Lincoln was trying to stop this country from tearing up. We benefited, but it was never about us. We were the byproduct of the bigger, point of the country not blowing up, and tearing apart. And slavery was one of the key issues, if not the issue that was driving the fight. But he didn't care if we got freed or not. I just think people need to be clear about that. But anyway, so this guy, Sachs, let that name sit out there. He says, so the banking industry won't back these bonds that Lincoln needs to have done. He decides, reach out to the administration, I'm going to sell the bonds directly to the American people. Had never been heard of, had never been done, but bypassed the banking industry, took the bonds directly to the American people, raised the equivalent today of $30 billion. I think that was the number they gave in bond sales. He becomes stupid rich because he's getting a commission on all of these sales. Americans swoop them up. And the Union soldiers are able to get the money that they need to keep the war going and to win the war ultimately. They are now out resourcing better finance than the Confederate side. But think about that, y'all. That these people come into play. That war could have went very, very differently had money not been raised to be able to continue to fight that war. Some of the names that we hear in history every day, and again, this is not benevolence. Nobody gave a damn about Black folks. Everybody just was looking out for themselves. And how do I get paid? If you have some time and you have Netflix, do the 7-day free trial, watch it, and then, turn it off. Watch Titans, The Rise of Wall Street. You will get an education like no other. It'll make you think differently as you have interacted with some of these people, the names, the brands, the organizations, the folks who we have suspected was shady, but we didn't know. And then when we think about the collapses that we've seen, Banks too big to fail. Barack Obama got to come in and save the American auto industry, got to come in and save the banking industry. Black people still have not recovered from the bursting of the housing bubble. And one of the things that becomes crystal clear, banks are not here to be our friend. They are here to make money. Wall Street, all of this is driven by money. So when Donald Trump says, let me go back and get his quote. I can kill everybody in your country. I can just blow them out the water. That you allow, but you stand on business on these tariffs. So how is that unconstitutional for me to do what I want to on the tariffs, but it's not unconstitutional for me to go and just execute people willy-nilly on these boats that we're being told are drug boats, but we don't have any proof. Y'all ain't seen no more drugs floating on the top of the water, have y'all? They heard Jermaine in here laughing and thought, well, that's probably not a good look, because if Jermaine laughing over in Milwaukee,
Something wrong.
if Jermaine can see through this, we should probably not put that out there as evidence and proof that these is drug boats. That's what happened. They heard Jermaine and said, no, we gotta. Because have you seen any more drugs? Have you seen the seizures?
Not at all.
I've seen no more seizures. So just want to say that I still got some callers on the line.
Got two.
Dang, let me get to the phone. I know they're gonna be hot. Let me go to the phone line. Hey, caller, what's happening?
Let me check.
Your phone breaking up, bro. You got us on speaker?
Not no more.
Okay, let's go. And thank you for holding. I appreciate you.
Hey, I love you. And with all due respect, money changes everything, okay?
Yeah.
That's just the way it's always been, and that's the way it's going to always be. But I have something that I consider way more important than these people shystering around New York Wall Street. I'm concerned about the Black Wall Street in Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Okay.
That's what I want to be dealt with. Now, my reason for calling you is to shout out a magnificent Black woman. Now that we almost at the end of Black History Month, and this woman just happens to have the same name as two of your besties.
Really?
Okay.
Okay.
Her name is Alina Myers Taylor. At 41, this happened on Saturday. She won the gold medal. She won the gold medal at 41 years old, the oldest woman, period, to win a gold medal at the Olympics in history. And her name is Alina Myers Taylor.
I got it. I just pulled up the story, and I'm getting ready to look at it right now. Thank you, bro. I appreciate you for flagging it.
All right. Bye-bye.
All right. And so, U.S. bobsledder Elena, and it's Elana. Her name is Myers, Meyers Taylor. So that's funny. She got both my girls' name mixed in hers. At last has her first Olympic gold medal following a dramatic come from behind victory in Monday's monobob final at the Milan Cortina Games. The 41-year-old mother of two is now tied with speed skater Bonnie Blair for the most Winter Olympic medals by a U.S. woman with 6. And she's the oldest Winter Olympian to ever win a medal in an individual event, breaking a record set by a snowboarder just days earlier. Myers Taylor's U.S. teammate, Callie Humphreys, I don't want to worry about that. Myers Taylor entered her final run in silver medal position, and knowing the time she needed to finish ahead of her teammate, Humphreys, who secured a podium position 1 run earlier. Myers Taylor ran a clean run and crossed the finish line with a combined time across 4 runs of 3.57.93, 0.12 seconds ahead of Humphrey's time. The run secured silver at worst, but pressure put on Nolte, who had the lead through the first 3 runs of the competition. So Nolte sledded the final run of the day, crossed the finish line with the combined time, blah, blah, blah. Myers' time It ensured a gold medal for Myers Taylor. And so they show a picture of this woman. Now I'm going to tell you, if this is her, is that her? Now let me do some images. Hold on. Wait. Let me do some images. I just want to see some, y'all, because now I got questions looking at her. Elena Myers Taylor. Okay. So she looked like she biracial. Because at first, this one picture they showed of her, she ain't look like a sister. But now with these other pictures of her, you see her hair. Yeah, she definitely biracial. Because somebody else had told me like something about somebody, and it's like, that's a black person. I was like, that's not a black person. And then when I looked good, I was like, and then I went and did the research. I was like, no, they not black. But yeah, this sister, she biracial. Somebody said she light skinned. She has 2 special needs children, and she signs. Yep, I see her with the babies. She married to a brother. And yeah, she light skinned, but she still mixed with something else. You can see it. All right, let me go to the phone line. But that was a side note. It wasn't important. But we'll claim people, and they'll always be our people. So I just wanted to check. So thank you, bro, for flagging that, and congratulations to this sister. Got another caller. Hey, caller, what's happening? Hello?
Yeah, I want to talk about 2 things.
Okay.
United States Army and Mexico. With the United States Army, they have a class when you're about to get your secret clearance. And you think you know, but you don't know what the United States is capable of. And they told us about this class called Diplomatic Immunity. And you think you know, but you don't know. Now about Mexico. A lot of, they've been sending a lot of fentanyl into the United States. It's like in my neighborhood, it's like 6 people got killed because of fentanyl, and they had bad habits. Just in my neighborhood. So I know how the world is. So with that, do y'all remember when some black people in Mexico got kidnapped in broad daylight? Mm-hmm. They got kidnapped, shot up. They knew it was the cartels, boys or whatever. The cartels brought them people, executed them, and say, this who did it. Now, what's going on with the fentanyl? They had already told you that Mexico is not safe. Ben told you this. That's how you knew. They're not going to tell you what's going on, but that's how you knew that, like, quit going to Mexico. After them black people got kidnapped, they was like, this is what we going to do. Everybody know that in the 80s, the United States made a whole lot of money off of cocaine. Cocaine came here, money was made, sent it back. A lot of fentanyl has been caught. Milwaukee, Chicago, Philadelphia, all that. That fentanyl is killing a lot of people. Yes, they had been said they was going to kill dude. It went up to 15 million, but wasn't nobody saying nothing. Okay, so he gets killed. That's in the game. The fentanyl is killing a lot of people.
All right, bro. Hang on, because I'm up against the clock, fam. But that's all I gotta say. All right, I got you on that. I think so. As I go, to close out the show, I just think we need to make sure we say this: the chemicals to create fentanyl are coming out of China. China is then doing business with Mexico, and Mexico is then creating the final product, and then sending that over into the United States. But I'm gonna say this, okay? For all the Americans being killed by fentanyl, the cartels wouldn't be strong if they didn't have firearms. Because just them running around with knives and machete, I could fight you back. There are no gun manufacturers in Mexico. So the reason why it's cartels in Mexico, thank America in great part, because a lot of our guns go across the border into Mexico for the cartels. They were talking about the type of equipment that the cartels got and how these people could do crazy damage. So I heard what you said. That it's fentanyl coming in from Mexico. We shouldn't feel way too sorry for these people because they killing Americans, but the cartels couldn't exist if it wasn't for all of the damn guns that they are getting from American gun manufacturers.
They just killed a YouTuber and shot him over 70 times.
Who did?
The cartel.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying.
Being able to shoot somebody.
It's a double-edged sword.
Yeah.
We getting killed by their fentanyl. They got the rise of cartels because we are making, it accessible for their people to get guns. And the governor of Mexico said that when Donald Trump was talking that nonsense about all these Americans dying from fentanyl. Okay, well, we wouldn't have a fentanyl problem perhaps if y'all stop all y'all damn illegal guns from getting into our country. Because we don't manufacture guns in Mexico. We getting them from somewhere else. So I'm just saying, when we talk about it, you got to talk about all of it. That's the show for today, y'all. Bruhs, I appreciate y'all. Indeed. Callers, I appreciate y'all. I'll talk to y'all tomorrow. Peace.